Well, it's fall. The apples are on the trees down the road. The summer fairs are in full swing, and we're ready for racing. Kart racing, that is, here at Four Seasons Racetrack with the Niagara Kart Racing Club. With me and helping me today is Paul Doan, the president this year, and we're going to be doing the commentary and helping you follow this great, exciting action. The weather's going to be great. The cool weather makes engines run really well. We're getting near the end of the season, so that the drivers are really trying hard. You don't have to worry about a lot of heat and fatigue, so the racing will be great. And I'm sure Paul will concur that the racing's been good this season.
Well, Don, we've had some fierce battles out on the track. It's been a season of ups and downs, but generally the competition has been absolutely fierce, particularly in the junior classes, the junior ones and the junior twos. The younger drivers put on a very, very impressive show. You'd be amazed at how well these kids can get a kart around this track. It's, like you said, the fall season, and that means the conclusion of the points battles. Many points battles are very close, and a lot of guys are hot to win. So there should be some really good action today out on the track.
Yeah, we've got a great turnout here today, and I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy the racing that's watching. We're doing 3 races this season. This is the first of our series. So when you're watching it at home, try to come out to the track if you have a chance. We'll fill you in later on when those dates will be, and just sit there and have a good time. Speaking about the track, we're here at Beta's Four Seasons Kart Track in beautiful scenic Fenwick. Like I said, almost the end of summer. Pumpkins on the road, that's how you can tell, apples in the stands, and karts in the track, ready for some really great action. The track itself is about 6th mile, and earlier this week we had a chance to go out, and we're going to show you what the track is really like and what it's like to drive it. Okay, here we are taking on a driver's eye view of the track, 6-mile track here. We're coming into the first and second turn. I'm going to take you for a lap just so we show you what it's like, the kind of line to run in the track. Going down the back straight here on our super fast golf cart. We got a little wind resistance problem with the riding mechanics, but I think we can overcome that. When you're in the start or the race, you're heading up in line, all grouped up, heading down to this turn. The flagger's watching as you approach the last turns, the 3rd and 4th turns here. As you come out of the 4th turn, the star will look at you. Everything's lined up, and there he is. He's going to throw the checkered flag. Pedal to the metal, as they say. Everybody's running together, heading towards the first turn. You head high in the back straight, and as you're approaching the first turn, start dropping the kart as low as you can go, hitting the course markers here. Gives you the momentum coming out of the turn, and let the kart drift high. The kart's naturally going to do this because centrifugal force. Don't try to fight it too much unless the thing is getting really loose. That's where the back end wants to come around and swap ends, or tight where the front end wants to steer the kart, which is a worse situation. Coming off the back straight again, dropping low into the 3rd and 4th turn. In the middle of the turn, exiting the turn, coming off of 4, heading to the flag again. That's basically one lap and a way to do it. Everybody has a different version, and of course it's a lot faster, but it's a lot of fun. So that shows you a little bit what it's like to go around the track. I'm sure some of you probably want to try it yourself, and maybe one of these days we'll see you out here racing. In the meantime, we're getting ready for the regular racing to happen today. Get comfortable, sit back, and enjoy yourself. Paul and I are going to do the best we can, and hope to see you here like we said before.
In this first race, the junior one, as you mentioned, sitting on the pole is going to be number 12, Matthew Champagne out of Fond Hill, he's sponsored by Perfect Portions, and he's driving on a factory-sponsored MXK. Starting on the outside pole will be the number 8 of Robbie Middlemiss from Niagara Falls, and he's sponsored by the Chippewa IGA. Starting in third spot is Jason Mussett out of St. Catharines. He's sponsored by Auto FX and Hair Quarters in the Port Plaza. Starting next is Daryl van der Zanden in the 9 out of Smithville. He's sponsored by Feeder Bend Farms and Peninsula Grain. Next up is Blake Priestley in the 42 out of Fond Hill, sponsored by Claire Cycle and Action Appraisals. Next is Daniel Garrison out of Fort Erie, sponsored by Mr. C's Donuts. Then there's Andrew Dominy out of Fenwick and Chris Dominy in the 63, his brother, starting side by side. They're both sponsored by their dad, Dennis Dominy, a well-known stock car racer in St. Catharines. And at the back of the field is Wes Zawiski out of Ridgeville in the number 4. He's sponsored by Zawiski Brothers Excavating and Copeland Moldable Wash and Bearing Heat. Don?
Yeah, also note that Wes Schursky is a points leader right now, right, Paul?
Yeah, Wes has been doing some good things in this class. He's won a few features. He's always consistent, and he's always a tough competitor. But then again, I'd say everybody out on the track is a tough competitor. They race close, these guys.
Coming down, getting ready for the start. He's watching. Matthew Champagne
was the one lap time.
Oh, sorry, one lap. Dana was getting really excited. Got me all excited. Here we come down. The guys in the back weren't lined up properly by looking at them.
No, when they get out of line, they're not supposed to start. And some of them pull out of line prematurely. They get a little anxious, a little antsy to get going, and they do come out of line, and Dana caught it there.
Watch Wes Schursky come from the back. He's doing really well in this class. Now he's making his way up the field, but everybody running in this class is really competitive.
Yeah, Don, these karts are amazingly competitive and close. On any given day, any person in the field could win a feature.
Here we go. We got the green. Matthew takes the lead going into the first turn. All of a sudden, Robbie Middlemiss dropped back a little bit there, but he's going in on the inside again. Bunching up in the back as well. Jason Mussett holding down third with hard to see that guy beside him. It looks like he's in there. Here comes Wes Schursky. There he goes on the outside, making the pass going into 3. Well, a little bit of bumping there. Matthew's got the race well under control up front, and I'm sure he's going to have a little battle there with Robbie. But we got a heck of a battle going on at the midfield.
Don, they really seem to be a little loose out there. The track's a little... Oh, we have a spin out. It's Jason Mussett.
We got Jason Mussett spun out in turn 4. We got the caution coming up. So it looks like the way it's going to restart is that Matthew Champagne, who's led from the beginning, Robbie Middlemiss has given him a good battle. Wes Schursky is obviously, like I figured, coming up from the back, and he's in 3rd place. Andrew Dominy's in 4th with, still can't see that number. Who's that in 5th?
That's number 9. That's Daryl van der Zanden.
Yeah, we gotta get him to clean up his number there. Followed by Blake Priestley and Chris Dominy. Daniel Garrison from Fort Erie, sponsored by Mr. C Donuts, is second from the back, and Jason Mussett, who had that little spin in 4, is holding up the rear. But I think he'll make his way up there again, right?
Yeah, I think he's got the power today. I think if he just holds it down on his line, he's going to be up there.
There goes the green. Robbie Middlemiss making a move on the inside. There they go. 1, 2, 3. Matthew Champagne holding the lead. Robbie Middlemas in second, with Wes Schwersky really threatening. And Blake Priestley threatening in fourth position. Got a little battle in the back there. Like I said, Jason Mussett has come up and having a little dice with Chris Dominy. Seems to be a little lead group there between the first 5 karts holding position. Matthew's nice and smooth and fast as usual. But I think Wes Schwersky is going to give Robbie Middlemas a little go. But then again, here comes Blake Priestley with Andrew Dominy going on the inside in 3.
Now he makes the pass, Don. Look at that. Right on the inside of Blake Priestley. Oh, we got a caution out here.
Yeah, we got Jason Mussett, who spun in 2 this time to bring out the caution.
We'll give him a chance to catch up to the back of the field.
It's really great the way these kids can drive this well. They amaze me every time how capable they are. We're talking 8 to 12 years old, and a lot of them are at the lower end of the scale as far as I know.
Yeah, Don, and they're going at almost 40 miles an hour on the straightaways here, so that's quite a speed for these young kids to handle. But they seem to, after the first initial exposure to karting, they seem to be able to adjust quite easily, and it's good practice if they plan to advance in karting. They get a good solid foundation in this class.
Well, the field's bunched up together. This time they're lined up in single file. I can't remember exactly when do they line up the field in single file instead of side by side? How many laps into the race?
Well, the race is an 8-lap heat. We have 2 8-lap heats and a 15-lap feature. If the race is half over, after 4 laps, we line them up single file. Before that, we line them up double file, something like the stock car races up at Merckville.
Of course, the purpose of that is to the guy that have been really working for it have a little edge going later on into the race to make it a little more fair, rather than somebody that's been a little behind getting the advantage because of the caution.
And if there is a lap car, it's inserted between them. Like, for example, on a feature, if there 1 or 2 cars get lapped and there's a caution, they get inserted.
And the green goes again. Matthew Champagne holding his lead with Wes Schwersky trying to get that inside, but he doesn't do it. Robbie Middlemas gaining there, coming into 4. He's right on the back of Matthew. Gonna have a good thing here. 2 laps to go, indicated by Dana, our starter. Blake Priestley is doing well in 4th position, and Andrew Dominy is still giving him a run for his money, with Chris Dominy, his brother, right there as well. 1 lap to go. Matthew Champagne holding the lead. Robbie Middlemas trying to get him, but I think it's going to be Matthew this time. He's real smooth going through 3 and 4. Here he is coming down the line to take the checker with Robbie Middlemas 3rd. And looks like Wes Schwersky or Blake Priestley in 4th.
Yeah, it was a good race. Matthew Champagne is quite a smooth driver. He's been coached by his dad, Andre, who's raced in the unlimited class for years. And this year, Andre's concentrating on Matthew's racing, and you can really see it shows in his driving. He's as smooth as silk. In this particular class, you need to be extremely smooth. You can't throw the kart around because you're very limited in horsepower.
Yeah, our next class up is Junior 2, which are the 2nd oldest group of drivers that run from age 12 to 15. In this group, they use a larger restrictor plate that lets them go a little faster, they're a little heavier, and a little more experienced. This is 1 step before they get into the senior classes with no restrictor plate, and this is when you get into the racing that might lead to a career or into 2-cycle, and who knows where it's going to go. And here's Paul again with the lineup.
Okay, thanks, Don. Starting on the pole today is Alex Walden in the 42 out of Port Colborne, sponsored by Kmart and the Seaway Mall. Starting the outside pole is the 3 of Doug Ashton. He's sponsored by Salon Plus in Fort Erie. Then there's Kimberly Hill, one of our women drivers, in the 13 out of St. Catharines, sponsored by the Chippewa IGA and Industrial Hose and Hydraulics. Theo Kudus in the 23 out of Beansville, sponsored by Precision Babbitt Service. Then there's Joey Middlemas, a big winner in this class out of Niagara Falls, again sponsored by the Chippewa IGA. In the 06A, we got
Adam Nelson from St. Catharines,
Okay, Adam
sponsored
Nelson. I
by
couldn't read it there, Don. Thanks.
Bicknell Racing Products and Crude with Dad.
Okay, then we go to Kevin G in the 14K out of Port Colborne, sponsored by Bud Small Engines. Brandon Easy in the 06 from Grimsby, sponsored by his mother and father. Oh, that's nice. Okay, Scott Gibson in the 88 from Grimsby, sponsored by Ken Page Contracting. And drawing up the end of the field is Michael Bowman, 71 from Beansville, sponsored by Industrial Hose and Hydraulics.
Gee, it's amazing how many mom and dad crew we have.
Well, mom and dads are the secret for these kids to race, I think. Not only permission, but a little of the infusion of cash.
Okay, they're getting lined up. They're real nice and tight for the start. Dana gave them the 1 lap to go, so we're coming around here for the start. Nice group of karts here. Everybody looking really great.
And Don, I might add that this is a really intense group of karters. These guys are really competitive, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, we all will. Look at them, nice green, right off the bat. Right off the bat. Number 3 is, gee, I don't have that guy listed here. 23.
It's number 14 there. It's Kevin G.
Number 14, Kevin G.
Yeah, Scott Gibson out of Grimsby came together.
Yeah, got together in the first turn. So we got a caution going here. Got to group them all together again. And also we got Adam Nelson down there and 4 going off with some technical problems. Adam again sponsored by Bicknell Racing Products, and Dad's the crew. Yeah, I was having a problem with number 3. Who is that number 3? I don't see it on our list.
Oh, 3A, is that the one there? That's Doug Ashton.
Is that Doug Ashton?
Yeah, he's got some new side panels on the car, new black side panels, and yeah, he's got rid of the A.
Oh, God, he's fooled us today. He's got all this fancy-dancy side panel and changed his number, so Doug's there. He took the lead right off the start from Alex Wheeldon.
Well, I know this week they worked hard in the kart. They wanted to make it pretty for our television broadcast today, so he's done a nice job. That's what made us unfamiliar with the kart, huh?
Theo Kudis from Beamsville, is that how you pronounce the name?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out, but I'm sure he'll forgive us. Sponsored by Precision Babbitt Services, and no, they're going back to the other lap before, so that kind of took care of ours, but we got Alex Wheeldon still on pole position with Doug Ashton on the outside, Kimberly Hill, the second row on the inside, and the outside is
Theo Kudis.
Number 15, Joey Middlemas, a really good runner in every race. Outside of him is 06, I think, Brandon Easy. Number 14 is after that Kevin Gee in the inside of the 4th row with, sometimes it's hard to tell over here. We have, oh, I know that guy. That's Mike Bowman. Mike Bowman, sponsored by Industrial Hose and Hydraulics from St. Catharines. And backing up the field at the end is Scott Gibson from Grimsby, who got involved in that accident with Kevin Gee.
Don, I see Brandon Easy on the infield. That's Adam Nelson in the 6 that's out there.
No, we didn't get a start there. Dana didn't like the way they were lined up, so he's going to have to talk to them a little bit. They're getting a little anxious. These guys are always a little anxious, so they got the lead foot out there. They always want to get going as soon as they can.
Yeah, they're pretty antsy. They love the race, and they don't like to wait around for it. And that's one of the problems we have, getting them lined up properly. But once they get going there, they put on an excellent show.
I can't see my lineup sheet entirely. Maybe you know who's leading the points battle in this
I think Joey Middlemas is leading the points in this.
There we got the start. Alex gets passed by Doug Ashton again with Mr. Kudis challenging for the lead again, going into number 3 coming out of 4. And Kimberly Hill on the outside. Here we got 3 going into 1. See what happens. Well, they got through okay. Doug's holding that position, but Kimberly Hill's really going on the outside. She's really got a lot of power. A little loose there, coming out of 3, but she's really, really on it. She's got a great race, first 4 positions, and the next 2 with Mike Bowman and the outside cart, number Adam Nelson, I think that's who it is. Oh, a little bit of bumping there.
Yeah, they're running close, Don. It's really a tight battle for that lead.
Kimberly Hill's really driving hard. That's our female driver out front, who always does well in this class. I think she's got this field covered. They're really going to have to pedal hard to keep up with her. Joey Middlemiss is in second with Mike Bowman coming up. Again, I told you so, but he's right there. Number 14, Kevin Gee, and Doug Ashton, our 3/3A, are battling there for 5th and 6th. But number, is that 86 or 88?
88, yeah.
88 got in between them, going down the back straight. Kimberly's kart's handling really well. She's going really smooth. Might have a little bit of bumpy between Kevin Gee and our friend Mr. Gibson. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go in a really great race. Mike Bowman and Joey Middlemiss going at it. Joey's right there looking over, seeing what's happening. But Kimberly takes it. Joey Middlemiss in second, and Mike Bowman in third.
Yeah, that was a great race. Kimberly last week almost won the feature, and she's been hot. She's been hot lately. She is a great driver. She's driven for approximately 6 years, and her whole family are karters. Her brother, Sean, races in the Yamaha class, and her father, Brian, races in the over 35 class, and they're all great competitors. So a great karting family.
Next race up is a combination race. We have 2 classes running here, which is a new class called Junior Super Stock, and our regular 4-cycle modified class is like turning a 5-cycle Briggs into a AA fueler engine. So this is a really fast 4-cycle class. The 2 classes. We'll keep you updated on who's leading each class the best we can. So don't think that because somebody is behind, they're not doing well. It's just 2 different classes we have here.
Yeah, Don, this is going to be a race within a race. It's going to be, like you said, it's a new class, these Junior Super Stocks, and these guys, runners in the Junior 2s not too long ago, but they put the Tillotson carburetors and the Horseman pistons and rods in the engines and made them a little more powerful, quite a bit more powerful, and are challenging not really the unlimited 2 4-strokes, but each other on the track. We're going to be starting them approximately half a lap, perhaps 1 turn apart to give them a little bit of breathing room. And I believe the limited 4-strokes or limited modifieds will be a little bit faster.
Okay, they're loud. You can hear them. We're going to talk a little louder here. In the Junior Super Stock, we got Rob Klassen, who was filling me in on what the class is all about that Paul was talking about. Number 62, sponsored by Bromac Construction. Number 3 in Junior Super Stock is Jim Neufeld from Thorold, sponsored by Neufeld Construction and MXK Racing. I think he has definitely run an MXK chassis. Number 53, Roberto Palillo Jr. from Fenwick, sponsored by Star Video, is the 3rd member of that class running in this race. And fill us in on 4-cycle modified.
Well, in the 4-cycle modified, we got on the pole at the front of the field is Joey Priestley in the 42 out of Bond Hill. He's Blake's older brother. He's been racing for approximately 3 years. He's sponsored by Action Appraisal and Claire's Cycle. Dan Weiler in the 1, followed by Bernie Van Harlen in the number 7. He's out of St. Catharines, and he's sponsored by Weiler Bed Engines. Dan Weiler's quite a well-known engine builder around town and builds a lot of the engines for the different classes here.
Okay, in this race, we're going to start the Junior Super Stock class a little behind the modifieds and see what happens. So keep an eye on. We got 2 a race within a race, so should be interesting. Should be interesting.
Yeah, Don, these guys got to run fast. They have a washdown problem with them, so you have to keep them running until their parade lap. The amount of fuel going into the engine will wash the cylinder down and cause some friction problems. So that's why we keep them running like that while we do the announcements here, but it looks like they're ready to go.
Yeah, we're getting ready. We're getting ready. Dana's going to check out the field. Should be a really interesting race. I'll tell you what, Paul, You cover the 4-cycle modified. I'll cover the junior super stock.
That sounds fair, Dan. We'll have two sets of eyes here.
Should have a start on it next time around if everybody's lined up. It's a little tricky because Dana has to watch 2 groups of karts, but I think we'll get this off okay. Like I said, it should be interesting if they see these junior super stock guys can catch up with the modified drivers. Little grudge race here.
Yeah, it's the young guys versus the old guys. They're off into the corner. Looks like Joey Priestley taking the lead on Dan Wilder, but these two have been going at it for the last 3 weeks, and Dan's trying to pull him on the inside. Oh, he backs out of it.
Rob Klassen's ahead in the super stock division, being challenged closely by Jim Neufeld and Roberto Palillo. Roberto Palillo slips into second in the class, with Jim Neufeld in third.
Okay, back up at the front of the field, we got Joey Priestley still leading Dan Wilder and Bernie Van Harnen in 3 processions.
Roberto Palillo got ahead there in the second division, but again, Rob Klassen's managed to take the lead, but they're having a real battle going together, coming out of 4 and really tailgated, pedaling really fast is Jim Neufeld. This is really great. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, all the action seems to be back in the junior super stocks, but meanwhile up in the front here, Joey Priestley seems to be running away with it. He's got about a 3-kart length lead on Dan Wilder and Bernie Van Harnen. Bernie's closing in on Dan on the straightaways, but he just can't quite catch him in the corners.
Action plus in the junior super stock. God. Roberto Palillo is in the lead now with Rob Klassen. You let it slip a little bit here and bang, that's it. You're behind the cart. This is great. Looks like Rob might be a little loose in those turns. That's why he's falling behind. Got a little spread here. How's it going up front?
Well, Don, these things are, you have to be a really smooth driver, but able to control a lot of horsepower in these things. You notice they go into the corners a lot more sideways than the junior classes. Well, 1 lap to go.
Got 1 lap to go. Got Roberto Palillo ahead in the second division.
And it's Joey Priestley leading up the field.
Coming down with the checkered flag. This has worked out really good.
Okay, Joey Priestley, Dan Wilder, Bernie Van Harnen.
Roberto Palillo takes first in junior super stock, followed by Rob Klassen and Jim Neufeld. That was great.
Yeah, noisy. I love that.
We love that noise. Mufflers on them. We don't need mufflers on them.
No, we don't need
want
mufflers,
no
although they're
stinking
required. In WKA competition, they're required, but around here, we like to run them without.
Okay, the next class up is over 35. This is for the older guys to have a chance to go out there and race besides the young ones. And I've been talking to George Ashton. He's leading the points in this class. He's got a lot of experience with it. His son races in junior 2, right?
Yeah, his son's, we just saw him out there in that newly cleaned up
3A. It was actually 3, but we thought
3
it was
this race.
3, but was actually... Okay. Number 44, George Ashton from Fort Erie, sponsored by Christie's and Mac Tools. Brian Hill, who is the father of Kimberly Hill and Sean Hill, you'll see racing a little later on in the Yamaha 2-cycle class, sponsored by Hill Racing. All number 13. You all like using that lucky number 13. That family's from St. Catharines. Family races together, stays together. Rob Garrison, number 711 from Fort Erie, sponsored by Ashton Racing. Jeff Sheldon, 91S from Fort Erie. We have the Fort Erie gang here, sort of like the Alabama gang.
Or Mafia.
Yeah. Randy Hollinshead, who's a modified driver. We have quite a few dirt modified drivers showing up all of a sudden in kart racing. Obviously, they recognize it's a better kind of racing and a little less expensive. He's sponsored by Vest Motorsports and Commercial Oil or something. We're not sure on that. Then we have Harry Van der Zanden from Waynfleet, sponsored by Peninsula Grain and Feeder Bend Farms. Obviously, we got some agricultural sponsorship in that one. Steve Wingfield from Burlington, sponsored by Rocking Low Racing. And we have a Honda, I guess from the Hamilton Kart Club, who's in there.
That's Steve Wingfield in the 90. He loves to race on dirt. He ordinarily races on pavement. We don't really have a Honda class here, but we like to see him show up, and he loves racing with the over 35 gang.
So we got the Honda fighting the over 35s. What do you think's going to happen to this?
Well, I'm going to have to go. This is the class I ordinarily run in, and I have to go with the over 35 guys. They're a rough, tough bunch, but they have a lot of fun. You'll see a lot of bashing out there once in a while. It's nothing really ill-intended, but they do get a little hot-headed.
Yeah, these guys put a lot into it. I think on the pole we have Rob Garrison with, see if we get the lineup here. Yeah, we have Rob Garrison on the pole, I think, with Brian Hill on the outside. No, sorry, make a liar of me again. George Ashton on the pole.
It's Wild and Crazy George Ashton on the pole. This should be good.
Brian Hill is definitely on the outside with 77.
Randy Hollingshead, yeah, he's in the 3rd spot.
We don't have that number. We'll have to note it down. Keep an eye on that guy. He has a lot of experience running dirt modifieds at Merrittville. Serious business.
Yeah, he's run pro stocks for years too, Don. He's
number 7, I imagine, is Harry Vanderzand. We don't have the number here, but we're gonna.
Well, Harry used to run mini stocks years ago at the old Humberstone Speedway. He used to have a little mini minor and used to really get around there. Used to beat
mini minor.
Yeah.
Nice. I used to have a Cooper S. I can identify with that.
Well, that's what he had. He used to beat a lot of big cars with that thing. He was a fast driver. It was a little shoe-like car.
Jeff Sheldon, part of the Fort Erie Connections, in the last row, and followed up by our Honda with nice-looking bodywork and sort of Miami blue and black. Maybe that's the way the driver will end up by the end of the race.
I hope not, John. You never know. Racing's a risky sport. We try to minimize the risk, but things happen out there, as you know.
Well, you can get black and blue in a kart, getting knocked around in that seat. I'm telling you, that's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to you.
Oh, yeah.
You really get tossed around.
I bruised my ribs badly last year, not even being in an accident, just from the roughness of the track. You got to remember, there's no suspension other than the tires in these things.
That's it, a bunch of air.
And the padding in the seat, if you have any.
Padding of the driver.
And I don't have much.
1 lap to go before the start. Look for Rob Garrison to make a challenge on the front row. George Aston and Brian Hill. Brian Hill is doing really great.
He's been doing really well. He started this year,
late, didn't he?
This year, yeah, he started late, and he loves to race.
That's a case where we have 3 members of the family racing and trying to convince the 3rd, which is Mother Sally, to jump in one. Oh, she has jumped in one for a special Mother's Day race, but we can't get out here to compete regularly, but we're still working on her.
Well, in a couple of weeks' time, we hope to have another women's race, just going to be open only to women. It should be an exciting race. The last time we had one, it was really an exciting race. I was really impressed with they'd never been in karts before, and they seem to take to it like a duck to water.
Harry Vanderzand, you might have noticed, had a little trouble, a little help getting going again, but he's on his way. The field stays the same with George Ashton on pole. And Brian Hill on the outside with Rob Garrison and Jeff Sheldon. We got the Fort Erie connection there. Here we go, they got the green. Brian Hill takes the lead going into 1, followed up by George Ashton, coming together between Rob Garrison and the other member of the Fort Erie connection, Jeff Sheldon. They're all grouped up there.
Well, a little bumping going around that corner.
The Fort Erie connection might be having their own little race themselves there, letting Brian Hill get ahead. And he's definitely ahead. Oh, the crowd's going nuts as Rob Garrison goes into 2nd position. Challenged by Randy Hollingshead. There he goes. That modified driver in the 2nd place.
Yeah, nice smooth move on the inside. They come together.
Bumping there between Hollingshead and Rob Garrison. 91, Jeff Sheldon right there. George Ashton being cautious. I think he's waiting for them to take each other out.
Yeah,
that's in the 2nd place there.
I think that's George's strategy in this race. He's going to just sit back and let those guys rough themselves out of the race.
Brian Hill is pedaling as fast as he can. But look at that, Randy Hollingshead gaining lap by lap. As he goes into 3 and 4, you can see him gain. Oh, we got some coming together between the Honda of Steve Wingfield Looks like there's a technical problem, possibly a chain.
Yeah, it looks
right
like
here
mechanical
in front
troubles.
of us.
Yeah, that looks like mechanical troubles in the Honda and the Vander's in number 7.
We did some technical feature before. We might have a chance now to cut to a bit and show you what goes into these karts.
Well, Don, we try to give the karters every chance to compete. If they have a breakdown on the track, we'd like to see if they can fix it, to allow them to fix it on the track. If not, we try to get them off to let the show progress. But these guys they want to race, and we try to give them every opportunity to race.
Well, Andre showed us some technical features, and hope it help us relate to what the karts are all about. We're getting ready here after a little delay with a problem with Steve Wingfield in the Honda kart. And I think we lost another person, didn't we?
Yeah, I think Harry Vanderzanden went into the pits with mechanical troubles in the 7.
And we got the green with Brian Hill going into the lead again. This gives Randy Hollingshead a chance to get right on top of him, which he's doing. And there we go. Rob Garrison is there too with Mr. Sheldon in competition. Looks like George might be a little loose in the back. Have to get set up a little better, tighten it up. Whoa, almost goes into the pond.
Yeah, you could get wet over there real quick.
That's amazing. On the other side of that berm, folks, we have a pond. It's not unknown for people to lose it coming out of two and end up in the water pretending to be a Sea-Doo or a jet ski.
Yeah, it's not very deep, but it's cold and wet.
Oh, Randy Hollingshead, there he goes. A little bit of trim hanging off the back there. And Brian Hill, they had it coming together. Brian slipped back into third place, but he's battling to come back again with Rob Garrison. And Randy Hollingshead takes it. Last minute opportunity. That's the way it goes. As the Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over.
That's for sure, Don. That was another example of how quickly the complexion of a race can change. Just a little slip by one of the competitors can change the entire outcome, even if they are spread out a little bit.
Next kart's out. Here are the big iron. We've got the unlimited 4-cycle, which are unlimited 2-cycle. God, how could I call a 2-cycle a 4-cycle? Slap my hand.
Sorry, you're a 2-cycle man, and you should know better, Buster.
Yeah. Oh God, it must have been a real slip of the tongue for me in that one. Anyway, the unlimited 2-cycle, or the bonsai karts of the Niagara Kart Racing Club. These are karts that run all 2-cycle motors. There's a bit of a limit in the fact that you run up to 440 cc engine if it's air-cooled, or you can run up to a 250 water-cooled motor. The karts either run gearbox or use a clutch drive. We have number 12, Andre Champagne, who's always a strong runner in his class, sponsored by his company Perfect Portions and MXK Racing. Mike Golick from Fenwick, number 47, sponsored by Lampman Furniture, Star Makers Karaoke, and Ken Siding. Jim Nelson from St. Catharines, number 14, sponsored by the family. Dennis Rabitza, who's a perennial winner in this class, has won championships, I think, for almost the last 3 seasons. From St. Catharines, number 1, sponsored by the Great Canadian Side Company. And Fred Legault, who also races speedway bikes at Welland County. Some of you might have seen him there, number 7. We got quite a mixture here. Number 1, Dennis Rabitza, has a 340 Rotax power. Mike Golick has twin 100cc motors. As well, Andre Champagne has twin 100cc Dino motors. And Fred Legault has, I think, a 340 snowmobile engine on that kart as well. We've got some technical problems, I think, with Mr. Nelson, 14, who's gone into the pits, I believe.
Yeah, these are the Indy cars of go-karts. These things put out in the nature of of 50 horsepower, 50 to 60 horsepower, and it's really hard to hook that much horsepower up into a small track like this, but that's why you see a lot of skittering and a lot of sideways motoring.
Yeah, it's like putting a blown alcohol motor on a go-kart, sort of.
Yeah,
the
about the same effect.
situation we've got here. Here they come. He's looking them out. There goes the green. Andre Champagne going into one. Dennis Rabitz on the outside having a battle with Fred Legault. There goes Herbie battling with Andre going into 3. Andre's holding it coming out of 4, but Herbie might call it. Fighting. We got a little train of sheet metal possibly there going down the back straight. Dennis falling back a bit. A good battle between Dennis and Fred Legault in the back. Fred high on the outside. Andre holds the lead. Mike's really pedaling hard. He's got the speed going down the back straight, just being cautious going into the 3rd and 4th turn.
Turns are getting a little slick. You can see the dust coming off the tires, and that means that you got to be real careful. You got to tread carefully.
Again we got some sheet metal trading up there between Andre and Mike in turn 2. Halfway through the race, you see these karts can rock and roll. Fred's getting loose in the turns has made him drop back. Dennis is trying to hook up as well, but he's gaining on it. It's giving him the chance to gain up in the first 2 positions, but Mike's really hooked up.
Yeah, he won the feature last week in this class, and they were just flying. He's got those great big 6-inch tires on the back of his kart, and they really bite.
Here comes Mike. Mike Golick. Call him Herbie. 1 lap to go. Got the race well in hand. Andre throws it sideways, going into the 1 and 2, trying really hard. Dennis is going to try to get him in the last 2 turns. I don't think he has it. Here it comes down the checker. Herbie wins it. Andre Champagne 2nd, Dennis Rabitz 3rd, and Fred Legault 4th. Had the handling problems. Oh, takes my breath away.
Yeah, that was over quickly, wasn't it?
Doesn't take long with these guys. Coming in off the pit. Of course, everybody knows that karts have to be weighed in. Each class runs according to a weight. Of course, weight's very critical. A few pounds can make the difference in winning and losing. So when the karts come off the track at the end of the heat, they go to the scale and get weighed. Not necessarily this class because they're kind of controlled in a different way, but all the other ones. Our camera might be able to pick up some of that when we get a chance, if not now, later on. And we got a 2-cycle class coming out. This 2-cycle class is Yamaha. The Yamaha motor, 2-cycle motor, which is the Yamaha KT100S piston port motor, is like the Chevrolet of 2-cycle motors for kart racing. This is the backbone of all 2-cycle kart racing. They're dependable, cheap to run, plentiful. Yamaha started the class by putting out spec production chassis and motor. The chassis have long since disappeared, but the motors endure.
Yeah, we've resurrected this class. It was not a lot of Yamahas around here last year. We put the word out over the winter time that we would be running a Yamaha class, and a lot of people responded. And it's been a really well attended and well fought class. They're pretty even in competition, and they do put on an excellent show for not a lot of money.
Yeah, we have Marv Nash, number 11, who's running in a different class on his own. We haven't had a great turnout. It's the 100cc controlled, which are more exotic 100cc 2-cycle motors, either rotary valve or reed valve induction, which gives the motors more power. So he's in there running. Marv's ex-president of the club, and probably one of the oldest drivers out there, and he just has a whale of a time competing. In the Yamaha class, we have Sean Hill, who's the son of Brian Hill, and the brother of Kimberly Hill, who raced in Junior 2. And said, the Hill racing family, really competitive in this class. Number 72, Steve Ruddy from Hamilton, sponsored by Dynamax. And the Stocker family. Dave Stocker, the dad, number 2S, sponsored by RDM Car Sales from St. Catharines, RDM Car Sales and Leasing. And his son is Jamie out there. No, We have another.
No, I don't see Jimmy out there.
We have another stock car racer, Dan Peasant from St. Catharines, running the 01 car. Sponsored by Industrial Hose and Hydraulic. This is a lot of fun, really tight racing. You'll enjoy this, folks. Stay with us. Getting ready for the green. There it goes. With Sean Hill going to lead. And, whoa, little coming together there with Sean and Dave Stocker. Whoa, gives him a little push. That's not right. I think we may have some disciplinary thing here. This is close. Look at this, 3 of them. They're pedaling away. Could throw a blanket over them.
They're trading some iron out there, Don. It's a little dangerous, but tempers flare a little bit.
Steve Ruddy snuck in there. They gave him a chance to get ahead. He's taking advantage of him. Dave Stocker, like he used to run the over 35 class last season, jumped right into 2 cycles, really enjoying it. Oh, we got a major spin. Sean Hill in number 13 hits the mud on the inside of 4, spins out, almost goes off the end of the track, manages to gather it up, but we got a caution. Like we said, the Yamaha class is like the Chevrolet of 2-cycle kart racing. The piston port motor is dependable, doesn't seize up, it's fairly easy to tune. They probably wouldn't agree with it when you're running that, but this is the best way to get into 2-cycle racing if you don't want to get too exotic into the more exotic motors, of course, the unlimited bonsai karts.
Well, that's right, Don. They put out in the neighborhood of 16 to 18 horsepower. They don't have a lot of torque, but they twist them up to 12, sometimes 14,000 RPMs, and that gives you a lot of thrust. Gets you sideways in the corners a lot, too.
Amazing, 14,000 RPM. Here it comes now, onto the green, 14, 15 grand. But Steve Ruddy holding it. Dave Stocker's really trying hard. Sean's going to get back at him. Dave touched Steve again. I don't know, Dave's getting a little aggressive out there.
Well, Dave's a very competitive guy.
Halfway, we got the halfway flags. Those first 3 runners are going really well. Steve Ruddy is taking advantage of that chance he had when Dave and Sean Hill got together, but Sean's really trying hard. Really trying hard. He's throwing that cart in. Look at that. Sideways drift, opposite lock. Steve Ruddy really smooth. Dave Stocker working hard, card handling well. Sean, oh, too much opposite lock. Loses it again in 3. And Marv almost collects him. I think Sean, number 13, the helmet might be getting a little steamed up there.
I think it is steamed up, Don. I can see it right now. He'll be probably having a few words with his fellow competitors, or perhaps the starter after this race.
Well, we didn't get a yellow that time. They're coming down for the checker. Steve's holding the first place position with Dave Stocker in second, trying really hard. Sean manages to finish. That's what counts. It's the first heat. The last one is the one that really counts. You work between the first 2 heats. He'll be there. Don't worry about it. Marv finishes a single 100cc controlled kart in the back of the field. Okay, today our featured race is going to be the Senior Light 4-cycle class, which is a really always exciting class with a lot of close racing, usually a really big field. We have 6 karts in the field today. This is going to be our feature race at the end of the show, 25 laps, and it'll be good. You can count on it being good. Maybe you can give us a rundown, Paul.
Okay, Don, I certainly will. On the pole is going to be Ryan Grady in the car number 8 out of Fenwick, sponsored by GW McPherson Trucking. On the outside is Joey Priestley, who we saw in the limited modified 4-stroke. He's in the 42 out of Font Hill, sponsored by Action Appraisals and Claire Cycle. Gary Goose, the rookie karter this year in the 7F from Welland. On the outside of him is Ryan Smith out of St. Catharines. Then there's Brian Smith out of Fort Erie in the 73. He's sponsored by Pola's Pizza. And at the end of the field is the number 14 of Gord McKee out of St. Catharines, whose dad is a stock car engine builder.
Yeah, they're all going to be flying low. You know, flying low, that's our theme for these races this season. And that's exactly what they do. They fly and they're low.
Yeah, a lot of times you can feel the track on the seat of your pants. You go over a bump and you can feel the bumps right in the seats of your pants.
Yeah, if you're set up properly, you should be dragging on the ground a bit, just in certain spots. You know you're set up, but sometimes you wonder, maybe the seat is going to have a little hole in it. It crosses your mind once in a while, but you try not to pay attention to it.
Well, I've turned my seat over and I've seen the wear marks right at the bottom of it, and it's a little frightening.
Yeah, we won't go any further on
No, Don, please don't.
on that subject. Yeah, like we said on the poll is Ryan Grady from Fenwick, sponsored by J. Dogan First Trucking. Joey Priestley, always a strong runner, who's running the unlimited 4-cycle class today. Is that right?
Yeah, just a little while ago we saw Joe out there. He won the heat.
Mm-hmm. No wonder I remembered it. Guzda is rookie this year, right?
Yeah, Guzda, he bought Kart from Tom Neufeld, and he's been doing quite well. He's won his first feature this year. Gary's a really nice guy. He's from Welland.
Well, Priestley goes off, having some technical problems. Ryan Smith is in this field. He's always a great runner, always competitive. Watch him. Number 14, Gordon, is it Gordon Mackay?
Gordon McKee, yeah.
Yeah, from St. Catharines.
Yeah, his dad, I was mentioning before, builds a lot of the sportsman engines up at Merrittville and Ransomville Speedways. He's an engine builder, and he built the engine on this Kart here.
That's what I thought. And we got some sponsorship. Polis Pizza, and if the camera can pick up in the back of the seat. Maybe we can get some pizza if we really. Well,
I think that's a little far for them to come. I don't think they come all the way from Fort Erie to Fenwick.
This might again be part of the Fort Erie connection.
Yeah, it's a whole Fort Erie gang that are getting into karting. They have to drive quite a ways to race.
We got a lot of gangs here. We got the Fenwick gang, we got the Fort Erie gang, we got the Welland gang.
And a large St. Catharines contingent, too.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget that town.
No.
Okay, we got a little problem lining them up. Bear with us. Just a little difficulty. Actually, we're waiting for Joey Priestley to get going again. We want to give everybody a chance here. We can be a little patient. There's not that big of a hurry. We can't give a competitor a chance to sort out his problems, get into the race. We can probably see it down there. You have to bear with us, folks. So we have a little mic and monitor problem for the race today. We're doing the best we can, so hope you enjoy it. And we're going to bring you the best coverage we can, and we're going to have fun. I'm sure you will. And we can see that Joey's still having a little problem. It might be, yep, they're changing the plug. We got a foul plug. That's common. Engines load up, you know, any racing engine. But we got the green without him. Waited too long. Ryan Grady goes into the lead, followed by Ryan Smith. And number 14, Gordon McKay, in third place with that good engine in fourth. Ryan Grady holds first position. A little spread out already, with Ryan Smith in second, being challenged by Gordon McKee. And Brian Smith from Fort Erie. Gary Guzda, who's learning the thing, is counting well for himself. Just staying on the track, staying in good position. And Joey Priestley, who came on after the race started. Whoop! We got Brian Smith, got a little loose out there in number 4. Number 4 seems to be claiming a lot of people here.
Yeah,
so far
it's a little
today.
slick down there. They don't want to run too low because there's some mud down there, but the middle of the groove, you get out of the groove just a couple feet, and there's marbles out there that they really lose it on.
You like to stay as low in the groove you can, diving out of the turn. Showed you sort of that when we did a track tour and explained a bit of how to go around the track. Drop the cart down into that turn, stay in there tight. But obviously you can't do that just as yet in number 4 because it's still a little wet. But the rest of the track is shaping up really well.
Well, Don, this track is a little asymmetrical. 1 and 2 are just a little bit tighter in radius than 3 and 4. So it's two different techniques usually in the stock classes to corner here. And 3 and 4 you can keep your momentum up, and 1 and 2 you have to cut down low to come out low. You don't want to come out too high, like we said mentioned about the pond over there. And if you come out too high, you're Splash City.
Okay, he's looking him over. Looks good. Single file. Got the restart. Ryan Grady still holds first. Second place still Ryan Smith. What a gang. What a gang. With Brian Smith coming out of it in third place. Number 14, Gordon Mackay, hanging in there. And here comes Gary Guzda. Oh, he's learning fast. Got that inside line. Drifts a little bit high. Coming very close to Gordon Mackay up there. And here comes Joey Priestley using that experience, using that good handling cart. The plug's okay now, and here comes Joey in 4th position.
Yeah, he's moving up fast. He seems to be really hooked up now. He's a good driver, a good smooth driver, and he's really good in traffic. Closing in on a 73 right now.
Ryan Grady's got the power. He's got the moves. He's up front. The second place car is dropping back a bit with Ryan Smith. But here comes Joey Priestley challenging Brian Smith. Got a lot of Brians and Smiths.
Not the same family though, Don.
Oh, there it is. Joey's going for underneath Mr. Smith in 3rd. Takes 3rd position. Takes 3rd position to the flag. That's it for that one.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Joe. He came up from the tail of the field, finished 3rd. Of course, Ryan Grady ran away with it.
Yeah, you can see this is going to be a really good 25-lap feature. You're going to have a really good time with it. Yeah, we like to mention, folks, you have a chance. Come on over every Saturday from now until October 23rd. Be glad to see you here live. Check it out on TV. This race and 2 more after that, providing the weather cooperates with us. And of course it will, it usually does.
Well, I'm sure it will, Don.
So, but come on out here and see us, you know. Talk about karting, watch the racing, have a good day out here in Fenwick. It's a great track. You know, you get a chance to go for a ride down out in the country, check out the scenes, pick up some apples, pick up some pumpkins.
Flying low.
Yeah.
You're watching your community channel. We are McLean Hunter Cable TV.
Over here. Checking the front end. Adjusting the seat. Wind conditions, and starting again with Junior 1. This time, as per usual, the field is inverted, and the person that started last will be now in 1st. So count them down for us, Paul.
Okay, thanks, Don. We started last in the last race. Heat was Wes Zwisky, but he's going to be started on the pole in the 4. He's out of Ridgeville, and again sponsored by Zwisky Brothers Excavating, Copeland Maintenance, and Bearing Heating. Okay, on the outside of the front row is going to be Chris Dominy in the 63 out of Fenwick, sponsored by his dad Dennis, and then Andrew Dominy in the 36 out of Fenwick, also sponsored by his father Dennis. He has a body shop in St. Catharines, Dominy's Body Shop. Then we go to Daniel Garrison out of one of the Fort Erie gang in the 16. Mr. C's Donuts has given him some sponsorship. Then we go to Blake Priestley in the 42 from Fawn Hill, sponsored by Claire Cycle and Action Appraisals. Then we go to Daryl Vander Zanden in the 9 from Smithville, sponsored by Feeder Bend Farms and Peninsula Grain. Jason Mussett in the 88 out of St. Catharines, sponsored by Auto FX at Hare Quarters in the Port Plaza. Okay, then we go to Robbie Middlemiss in the 8, Niagara Falls. He's sponsored by his dad's business, the Chippewa IGA, and at the back of the pack, who was at the front of the pack in the last heat, is Matthew Champagne in the 12 out of Fond Hill, and he's sponsored by his father's business, Perfect Portions. And he's also a factory MXK driver.
Yeah, factory MXK from Alma, New York, kart manufacturer, builds all kinds of chassis, builds them custom made if you want something special. Really good solid cart, top quality. Wes Jaworski is the points leader, by the way, in this division. And on the pole, you know he's going to do well. He did well in the last heat. Matthew Champagne, like Paul said, is in the back, but you know he's going to work his way up. Watch out for Blake Priestley, number 42, Robbie Middlemiss. He talks and drives hard.
Yeah, he's a hard driver, and he wants to get to the front as fast as he can. So that provides a lot of our excitement. Is a lot of them want to get to the front as soon as possible. And when you start in the back, it's a real challenge to get through the pack. to get to the front-running positions. And occasionally, an occasional caution helps them out once in a while, but some of them can do it right on their own, right from the back to the front. Keep your eyes on Matthew Champagne. I'm sure you'll see a really good exhibition of through the traffic driving and smooth control driving.
Yeah, they're all lined up. A little anxious, they're all ready to go. Dane, our starter, is looking them over really well. They're coming around 3 out of 4. 1 lap to go. Let them tighten up a little more. Got the finger in the air. See that finger in the air? That's to tell the drivers behind that there's 1 lap to go, just in case they can't see over each other. Help each other out. They're communicating like any kind of racing, like they do in NASCAR with waving and signs. They do the same thing in kart racing because karts are so low to the ground. Well, they're lined up really easy, a little bit of bumping. Coming out of 3, into 4. Dana's keeping an eye on them. There's the green. And as expected, Wes Schwersky goes into the lead, going into 1. Chris Dominy. But here comes Andrew Dominy, the 2 brothers, right? That is 2 brothers.
Yeah, they're 2 brothers.
Yep, and there's Chris Dominy. Goes by, bumps with Wes Schwersky, which gives Wes a little chance because Chris lost momentum, but he gathered it back up again. And we got a little battle there with Jason Mussett, and well, we can't see it exactly, but
I believe that's Van der Zanden.
yeah, that's right. Got to get him to clean that plate. That's number 9, Daryl Van der Zanden from Smithville. Chris Dominy holding the lead. Wes Schwersky right there. Matthew Champagne is holding in the back. He's being cautious in this race, doesn't want to get in any involvement. There he goes. Took, number 9. Went high there. Look at Matthew. He came from 2nd to the last to 5th place in that 1 corner. And he's gaining on Jason Mussett, right on his tail. And here comes Matthew going down the back straight. Jason's taking a look at him. Matthew's being cautious, smooth driver, doesn't get too excited, knows when to take his opportunities. Wes Schwersky still battling with Chris Dominy. We got a heck of a battle there between Andrew Dominy, Jason Mussett, and there's Matthew Champagne in 4th. He's coming.
He's coming on strong, Don. From last to 4th place, moving up through the pack. You see an example of real smooth precision driving on that young lad.
There's Matthew. He's challenging Andrew Dominy. We're going to see a little battle here. Oh, there goes Wes Schwersky trying to get the inside going into 1. But Chris Dominy holds it. There goes Matthew. He's going to go right down the back straight. Look at this. Going right by both karts. Trying to hold it going into 3. The kart's hanging in there. Got to watch the inside so it'll slippery. And he manages to get 3rd. Chris Dominy 1st. Wes Schwersky,
I think that was Andrew Champagne in 2nd. I think he got him at the line there,
yeah,
Don.
I think he got him with, who was 3rd there? I missed that one.
It was one of the Dominy boys. I think it was Chris.
Yep. Well, that's there's an example of a good Junior 1 race.
Yeah.
And when the feature comes out, it's going to be a better Junior 1 race. And like we said, they combine the points accumulated in the qualifying heats to determine where they're going to start for the feature. The race that really counts for points and position, and at the end of the year, the big championship. The next class up again is Junior 2, with less restriction and older drivers, like we said, from ages 12 to 15 inclusive. What size restrictor do they run? I think it's 575.
Yeah, I think it's 575. That's of an inch. They're still use World Karting Association rules out of the States, and they're still in the old measurement system. So.
Now, we say 575, folks. We're talking about the hole in the restrictor that lets the air and fuel get into the engine through the carburetor. The junior class is a smaller orifice or hole because it slows them down a bit and they're lighter. And in this class, since they're a little older and heavier, we give them more of a performance factor, and they use it. Okay, Paul, maybe you can do the rundown on this one for us.
Okay, Starting on the pole is going to be Michael Bowman in the 71 out of Beamsville, sponsored by his dad's business, Industrial Hose and Hydraulics in St. Catharines. The outside pole will be Scott Gibson, the 88 out of Grimsby, sponsored by Ken Page Contracting. Brandon Easy will be in the 06 out of Grimsby, sponsored by his mother and father, of course. Kevin G in the 14 case from Port Colborne, sponsored by Bud Small Engines in Port Colborne. Adam Nelson in the 06A from St. Catharines, sponsored by Bicknell Racing Products. Joey Middlemiss in the 15 out of Niagara Falls, sponsored by the Chippewa IGA. Theo Kudus, 23 out of Beamsville in the Precision Babbitt Service Kart. Kimberly Hill in the number 13 from St. Catharines, sponsored by the Chippewa IGA and Industrial Hose and Hydraulics. At the back will be Doug Ashton from St. Catharines, sponsored by Salon Plus in Fort Erie, business run by his mom. And at the back, very back, will be Alex Weldon in the 42 out of Port Colborne, sponsored by the Kmart and the Seaway Mall.
Kmart, Seaway Mall. Hey, they sponsor Michael and, well, used to Michael and Mario and Nigel Mansell. Nigel Mansell used to be an ex-kart racer. We're going to talk a little later probably about some of the famous names that are kart racers. Almost all of them. Thing is, in this division, Junior 2, Kevin Gee is a points leader. He was very adamant. We had a discussion with him about his last name. It's not G, or G. Gee. It's Kevin G, sponsored by Bud Small Engines, I think, in Crawley Road in Port Colborne, a specialist in small engines and that type of thing. Good shop. And crewed by his dad, Mike, who's obviously given a lot of help and support. We haven't got a start yet. Dana isn't satisfied. That's because Mike Bowman got a little jump at the start there. It wasn't even going into turn 4, so Dana waved it off.
Yeah, I think they're going a little too fast for Dana's liking.
He doesn't like the pace is a little bit too quick for the start. He's telling him, slow down, one more lap. Dana's not going to let the drivers intimidate him. He's in control of it. That's what he's supposed to be. He's going to make sure that everything's fair before the green drops. Might be a qualifying heat, but still matters. He's looking at him. Looks good here. There's the green. Mike Bowman going into 1. There's 06, Brandon Easy sneaking on the inside, but we got number 15. I think it's
Joey Middlemiss.
Joey Middlemiss. Yeah, there's Joey. All of a sudden, Adam Nelson's in second place. It's Scott Gibson, number 88, in third, but Joey Middlemiss is fighting for third position with Kevin Gee. Kevin Gee there, the points leader, in fifth. Joey and Kevin having a real battle. Kimberly Hill's in midfield, the number 13. She'll work her way up.
Yeah, she's been working her way up quite well. I watched her start at the back, and she's moved up quite a distance.
Brandon Easy is hanging in there really well. Real battle between Mike Bowman, number 71, and Adam Nelson. Adam Nelson going down the back straight. He's got him in there. Let's see if he can hold it. He's holding so far, but he's going high. Here comes Mike. There he go. Kart drifts up high. Mike takes the inside. Keeps the inside. Mike drifts up high. Adam Nelson gets in there. They're going neck and neck down there again. Oh, sorry. It's Brandon Easy. It's in second place. Don't want to give the credit where credit's due. But we got an exciting race with Joey Middlemiss there fighting Scott Gibson neck and neck. Mike's pulled a little breathing room there with Brandon Easy in second. But here comes Scott Gibson. He's determined. And Kimberly Hill goes into fourth position. Battling with Joey. These two are always fighting. 1 lap to go. Kimberly's almost off the track. What a group. We might have a little incident over here on top of 2. Oh, they're through it clean. There goes Kimberly into 5th. It's going to be Mike Bowman in first place. Brandon Easy in second. Here's a battle. And Joey Middlemiss takes 3rd with Scott Gibson in 4th. Joey just got him at the end. Kimberly Hill picks up 5th place. What a race.
That was wild stuff, Don. Wild stuff.
Rock and roll. I like it.
Flying low to the ground.
Flying low. That's what we're doing here today, flying low. I just love it. Well, you know, it makes it kind of gets a little discouraging when you race and you sit here and you know, after a while, you know, we're having fun doing a commentary, but you know, your throttle foot keeps.
Well, it's itching right now. I wish I was out there.
Okay, we're going to go into our mixture class here with the Junior Super Stock and the 4-cycle modified. 4-cycle modified, they do a lot to these motors. I mean, everything's replaced. The crank, the lifters, the camshaft, the piston, the carburetor, the engine modifications, decking, compression increase, exhaust, you name it, it's done to the motor. I think they put out something like, what, 12 horsepower?
Hold on, I think it's closer to between 15 and 18, depending on the modifications.
Yeah, that's from a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. Just amazing.
Yeah, rototiller engine, folks.
Yeah, yeah. Get on your rototiller, snowblower, cultivator, you name it, all that type of stuff. And that's the thing about the Briggs & Stratton motor. 4-cycle racing based on Briggs & Stratton. It's easy to get. The parts, even the racing parts, are fairly easy. There's a lot of people selling them. And there's major engine builders. Believe it or not, just like people build for Indy and Formula One and drag racing, they're specialists in making these motors go a little quicker. And they're really good at it.
Yeah, they dyno them, they flow test the carburetors and the induction system on them, Don. And they pull around, I gotta tell you, around 10,000 RPMs, which is quite amazing for a rototiller engine.
Of course, we could all get one of those engines and put in our rototiller, boy. You could really till up the garden using one of those engines.
Yeah, I'd have mine done in about 2 minutes.
Like we said, the class is divided between 2 different sections. The Junior Super Stock, which is a new class, which is having motors with a little, well, actually a lot less modification done to them. So the Junior Super Stock, which is potentially a slower class, will start behind the 4-cycle modified. They were saying before the race that they'd catch them, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to this time.
Yeah. Okay, Don, we got Bernie Van Harlen in the 7. He's going to be up on the pole, followed by Dan Wilder in the 1 and Joey Priestley in the 42 out of Pond Hill.
Yeah, and in Junior Super Stock, Rob Klassen, and he's sponsored by Bromac Construction, his dad's company, and his dad gives him a lot of help and support with Jim Neufeld, number 3 from Thorold. And here goes the green. Into the lead in the 4-cycle modifies, Bernie Van Harlem with our points leader, Dan Wilder, right in there, and Joey Priestley tight again. Roberto Palillo Jr. takes the lead in Junior Super Stock. He won the last race, and he's up front in this one. Jimmy Neufeld in 2nd place, and Rob Klassen right there. Rob's leaning back and doing some adjustment on the carburetor. They do that. You can actually adjust the engine while they're running to get better performance. Usually leaner it out. The leaner an engine runs, the faster it'll go. But the hotter it runs, and you could blow it up.
Yeah, in a big way. I've seen them pop in a big fashion on this track. Oil all over the place. So they got to be real careful with the mixture.
Well, we got a dream come true here, actually. There's Roberto Palillo, and he's right in the back of one of the 4-cycle modified carts, Joey Priestley. Wild sounding motors. Going down the front straight, just revving away. Again, Rob Klassen in the back of the field in the Junior Super Stock in 3rd position is still working on his carburetor. But we got to spin him. He's Dan Wilder, Joey Priestley, and the 4-cycle modified.
Yeah, we had it coming together there. Joey just touched Dan's back, and these things are, when they're sideways, it doesn't take much to throw them around.
Joey Priestley has a piece of chain guard kind of rubbing on his wheel. I don't know if that's going to make any difference. Shouldn't bother it too much.
I think
we're going to line them up again and get them going in single file.
Roberto Palillo, I got a comment on. He's in the Stars video card. He's doing a fine job there.
He's determined to lead this. He's determined to get up front and beat those 4-cycle modified
Yeah,
guys.
he wants to show them up, I think. Young guys versus the old guys.
But here we got Bernie Van Harlem still leading 4-cycle modified, of course, because Dan Wilder and Joey Priestley got into a contretemps there and turn number 4. Roberto Palillo, again, won the last heat, leading this one, really capable. Jim Neufeld, sponsored by Neufeld Construction, his dad, helping him out. MXK chassis, there's the green. Bernie and Dan Always run together. There they are. Joey Priestley touches Dan, coming out of 2, going down the back straight. 1, 2, 3, right on top of each other, 4-cycle modified. Roberto Palillo ahead in the junior super stock. This 4-cycle modified is really having a great race here, Paul.
They certainly are, and those juniors are really going at it too. It looks like Palillo's pulled out a bit of a lead. The other two.
Yeah, he's gaining on the 4-cycle modified trio. Obviously, Rob Klaassen's still having problems. He just keeps trying to adjust that carburetor. 1 lap to go. Bernie Van Harlem goes into 1. Joey Priestley trying to take Dan. Coming out of 2, going down the back straight. He's going to make his move over here. I don't think he can do the outside. He's just going to follow him through. Dan's holding the inside, no problem. Here comes Roberto Palillo way ahead. And Jim Neufeld takes second, and Rob Klaassen almost does it while still adjusting his carburetor, going to the checkered flag.
That's amazing that they can do that. Concentrate on driving and adjusting the carburetor at the same time. I think he had a persistent problem with that carburetor that time. He almost had to keep his hand on the mixture adjuster at full time.
Sort of like using a cellular phone when you're driving.
Very similar.
That'd be next. We'll have won't use a cellular phone, but we'll have inter kart pit crew communication.
I think the rules forbid that, I'm afraid.
Well, we could try it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go again with the more mature drivers and over 35 4-cycle. Again, Briggs and Stratton. This class is for drivers over 35 years of age to infinity. I like to use that, to infinity, because we never know where we're going to go. And the weights are a little heavier. I think the weight's 340 on this one?
325.
Oh, 325. They all lost weight, all these drivers, so they lowered the weight. Okay, Paul.
Okay.
Line it up.
Starting on the pole in this race is going to be Harry van der Zanden, former mini-stock racer in the number 7 out of Waynfleet, sponsored by Peninsula Green and Feeder Bend Farms. Then we're going to be having Randy Hollingshead in the 77 Vest Motorsports Moffat Fabricating commercial oil cart. He'll be followed by Jeff Sheldon in the 91S. He's out of Fort Erie. Jeff's the son of Bill Sheldon, a modified racer. He's racing a mod stock right now, a racing family from Fort Erie. Then there's Rob Garrison, that's his brother-in-law, in the 711 from Fort Erie. He's sponsored by Paul Ashton Racing, well-known sportsman driver out of Fort Erie. Then we have Brian Hill in the 13, part of the famous Hill racing family out of St. Catharines. And drawing up the back of the field will be George Ashton in the 44 out of Fort Erie. And he's sponsored by Christie's and Mac Tools out of Fort Erie.
You said George Ashton is the points leader in this class. We have the Honda edition, number 90, Steve Wingfield from Burlington, sponsored by Rocking Low Racing. This will be a good race. It always is. These guys are just as intense as the young guys, probably even more intense. They take it real serious. And remember, Brian Hill, part of a three race kart family. We're going to do a little feature on them later on, so I'm sure you'll enjoy that. They're coming down the green. Dan's looking over. We got the green. Number 77, Randy Hollingshead, the modified driver, goes into the lead, coming out of 2. And there goes Rob Garrison, part of the Fort Erie connection right there. And, of course, Jeff Sheldon, number 91. George Ashton fighting with Harry van der Zanden from Waynfleet, with Brian Hill watching what's going on. He's on the outside of Harry van der Zanden. But Harry's holding his position. Looks good going down into 3.
Yeah, George has made a big improvement here. He bought a carburetor during the intermission and seems to be running up there in 4th place. The car seems to be working a lot better than it was.
The Honda in the back seems to be having a little problem there. It's not that slow, but the engine just isn't running right. We can all hear it as it goes by. Take a listen. But Randy Hollingshead, again, a dirt modified driver, really loves kart racing, is in 1st place with Rob Garrison from Fort Erie, sponsored by Ashton Racing, and Jeff Sheldon, also from Fort Erie. Is Randy Hollingshead, is he from, he's from Fort Erie as well?
I know, Randy's from Hamilton, and he's been driving the number 55 modified at Barrettville in conjunction with another fella. So he gets some seat time in the modified, but he races every week in the kart.
Yeah, everybody, that the Ghosts of Merrittville can relate to this really well because the races are conducted in the same type of format. Got 2 laps to go here with Randy Hollingshead in the lead and Rob Garrison holding a second, but he's getting a little challenge here from Jeff Sheldon. But obviously I think Rob Garrison has a little more going down his straightaway.
Yeah, I think
Here
so,
he comes,
Don.
gains a little bit, 1 lap to go. You can see Jeff Sheldon catches him in the corner, but going down his straightaway, like here we are in the back straightaway, he pulls ahead. Hollingshead has the, should win this no problem, and that's the way it's going to finish with Rob Garrison, Jeff Sheldon, George Ashton, and Brian Hill.
Well, that was a nice run by Jeff Sheldon. This is only his 5th week of racing. I bought the kart from our club's past president, Wayne Dick, and he's dialed it in, and he's getting smoother every week. He's learning how to do it properly, and well, he does come from a well-known racing family in the area, and so he has a bit of help from his dad and his family and his brother-in-law, Rob. But he's really come a long way in 5 weeks.
Okay, it's rock and roll time. Unlimited 2-cycle. A lot of the guys have been sort of spontaneous about coming out this year, but we have a good representation this time. It's always a blast. This is a Class I race in, but I haven't done too much this year because of several reasons. I'm trying to get Paul in here with us racing this type of stuff as well. Andre Champagne, number 12, sponsored by Perfect Portions and MXK Racing. Andre is a Dino kart with twin Dino 100cc